Welcome, friends, to the Great British Mickey Waffle. It's Wednesday, and we join again to share a collective midweek acknowledgement of the weekend as it coming, and it can't come quickly enough, I must admit. I'm going to start by showing off, because usually we have a finely honed planning system, and we were going to talk about appetizers. We were going to talk loads of different things. Just to help that planning vibe for your trip. Well, today that's all out the window, and we've got a great big beautiful Demaro to enjoy. See what I did there? Welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle Live.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I
go. There you go. I've been waiting all day to say that. That's it. I'm going to get my coat. I'm going now. That's it.
Mic drop moment.
That's it. I've had that one line. I just thought that's how we can start the show. Yeah, I'm glad you thought it was. I just thought it was a bit self-indulgent myself, but it's one of them things. How are you, Claire?
I think I'm okay. It's been a busy, long day. And I'm really glad to be here this evening. I think we've got some news to talk about, and got some friends in the chat. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and actually, what I would say, and this is if you are the type of person who is a ninja watcher, right, who watches every week, just join in. Just send us a message, because last week we ended up with 2 messages. One from my wife's family in Canada, who we never knew watched the show, who were really surprised that we had Josh and Morgan as well. But then I got a text message as well from a friend of mine, Kirsty, who actually a text just as we started the show and just go, "Oh wow, you've got Josh and you've got Morgan doing the show on a Wednesday as well." So I did suggest get in the chat. You're always welcome. It doesn't matter if you're watching for the first time or the 100th time. It doesn't matter. Just come and say hello. But it's one of them things. I think that whole bit that, and I'm rubbish with names, so please excuse me for missing it out. But the description we had a few months ago about it just being a collective hug in the middle of your week, and I just think it's such a lovely way of describing what we do on a Wednesday. It doesn't matter what's on the TV and things like that. When you can, join in. When you can't, join in the catch-up. And also on the podcast. Dead easy. Anyway, it's Claire and I. And that's, I'm going to put it out there as well. Because, from the background in education I should be a little bit more sort of, deadpan and sort of straight-laced about stuff like this. But when you get a message from a fellow waffler at 8 o'clock saying, "I can't do the show, family emergency." So Ben and Becca, we've no idea what's going on, but we just hope everything's all right, and just sending our love to you, and just when you're checking in and checking up on us, and just let us know what's going on, because we've no idea. So that's the reason it's Claire and I. Wow. The Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah. Oh dear. I apologise in advance. It's going to be one of those shows, I think, probably. Which, if you've been here before and you've seen John and I doing a show together, you'll know exactly what's going on.
I think the best thing of all is though, and this actually comes from other people watching when it's you and I. It's the fact that we kind of go off topic, back on topic, and then come back to topic, and then just completely, totally lose the plot altogether.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. We can waffle, we
having
can
a
chat,
laugh.
we can, and connect with our friends in the chat and have a chat about all sorts of things. So, I think that yes, we've got a rough idea of what we were meant to be talking about. We may get round to it, we may not.
Yeah.
That's okay. And the rest of the chat will be governed by whatever you want us to talk about. So in the chat, if you want to talk about something, let us know. I think
what a nice way of thinking about it. Yeah.
I think that there is some big things to talk about tonight. Well, one big thing.
Yeah.
But can we just say hello to whoever's in the chat? Because I know we've got quite a few people already. So we've got Heather, always here first. Thank you, Heather, for joining us. And Wendy, who's usually here second. But tonight you were picked to the post by Sean, who later on claims that he's always dead quiet. I know. First of all, that isn't the case. But welcome, everyone. Faith is joining us from New York. Welcome, Faith. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Faith. So, and this is always a real nice thing. We've got, and I actually really enjoy this about a Wednesday show. It's purely on the fact that we go from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So we know Heather's joining us from California. We've got Faith joining us from New York. So again,
Sean joining us from the
up
northeast
north.
of,
from yeah. It's probably better if you're a Geordie. You're probably better watching this show than watching your football team if you're a Newcastle fan, because it's not even half time and they're 3-0 down. So yeah, that's definitely one.
We've also got someone who doesn't often say hello, but
there you go.
Good evening to you, Neil.
There you go. So Neil comes on in different guises, right? So this is probably as good a time as any to just sort of go back. If you've not listened to the 1st of February podcast, then do go back, because we're talking about planning and we're talking about when questions come up as to how you can do this or how you can do that. Now, Neil sometimes comes on as Portwood Travel. And as we'll go on and we'll talk, not with Neil, but with a different holiday planning person for our mid-month. See, we do have a bit of joined up thinking, but we're talking about like special things that you can actually do to plus your Disney trip for the mid-month. But actually, Neil's actually one of these people that you can actually go to if you're in the UK and you've got a question about. And this came up in the podcast, and I don't think we were aware of it when we were recording. But if you're not sure what you're doing, then find somebody who knows what they are talking about. And I would openly admit, don't just go down to your local TUI shop. Go to actually a holiday planning consultant and ask them, because actually they will put together, they'll answer those questions that we can't.
Yeah.
And I think that came up in the podcast is certainly how you would plan if you're going with kids. And I think Simon had said something along the lines of not done it because I'm not sure what we'd do. And so Neil said, well, look, tell people you can come and ask people questions.
Yeah.
And that's what we're about. And I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to follow that up before we introduce anyone else. Is the fact that also we've had people contact us through our Facebook community and ask about some of the things that did come up in the podcast in respect of travel insurance as well, and that we will get back to you and we will actually respond to you personally, because actually what we don't want is to actually respond and then just sort of say, oh, we only endorse a certain brand of holiday insurance. It has to be right for you, and it has to be something that you're happy with as well. So it's one of those things, it's.
I have to say, I really enjoyed the recording that we've done. We've recorded the 15th of February show
with a special guest.
And genuinely, I know that it's going to cost me money. But it was so cool because as John mentioned, we are talking about all the special extra things you can add to your trip, whether that be a fireworks cruise, a limited party, a dessert party, or a backstage tour. and all of the things that are available that you might not even know are available, and who they're suitable for, and how you book them, and how much they cost, and things like that. So if you have been before and you're looking for something that's going to add a little extra sparkle to your days when you're at Walt Disney World, then the 15th of February show is definitely one that you want to listen to. And if you're going for your first time, these are the things that you need to go back for. So I would say that
I would also add Claire as well.
Manager before you listen.
Yeah, but no, what I was going to say is that there's actually a lot of different price levels at which you can come into this.
Totally. Yeah.
And also, the one thing we didn't get into the show, which I was kicking myself afterwards, we never mentioned the behind the scenes tour.
I had it on my list, but we
ran out of time.
That, yeah?
So what I'm going to do is every single week for the whole of February, I'm going to tell people the fact that if you want to go and see, but you want to be on stage
in Living with the Land.
In Living with the Land, there is the behind the scenes tour, and it's rather cheap and it's rather good. And actually, you feel as if you're on the opposite side of being in the boat, and cool. It is just like, it changes your whole perception. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it's a really cracking show. But Neil, thank you for what you've actually picked up on, is the fact that if you've got a travel consultant, they will sort out an awful lot of your questions. And actually, that's why they're there, because actually that's what they want to be able to. They want you to go on a holiday that's stress-free, and that you come back and you go back to them and you actually say, we'll book with you again, because actually what you're saying is 100%. And if you're someone like Neil and Karen, they've been to Disney quite a bit. I'll put it that way. It's a bit like you and I, Claire. You know, when you start going and you think, I wonder how much that's all cost along the way.
Yeah, best not.
Yeah, let's not think of that.
The only other person we haven't said hello to who's put something in the chat is Jacob. Nice to see you. If you're anyone else who's ninja watching, do say hello. We'd like to say hello to you.
We know who you are. We know who you are, Kirsty. She already sent me a text. I'm gonna keep on at this, and actually, no, because that's not fair. Because I don't think it is. But at least she knows that I know that she's watching.
That's like the end of what was Give Us a Laugh. Watching you, watching us, watching you. That was.
Oh yeah. Game for a laugh, wasn't it? Yeah.
Back in the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how old we are.
Shall I do? I'll put the Becca bit in. Let's put the Becca bit in and say, "Oh, I wasn't born then," because that's the usual one, isn't it?
Can we do some news? Because there is something important that happened this week.
Let's do the news. Hang on, I'm going to press the news button.
You're going to find out.
Look at that. Look, seamless. I'm getting good at this, aren't I? That's 2 weeks. I messed it up last week, but hey, I got it right this week. Where should we... Can I start?
Start with
No, let's keep that. Keep that. Come on, let's keep everyone in suspense. Damaro can wait. Has anyone watched The Muppets yet?
I haven't watched it.
I've spent the half hour before the show watching The Muppets, and it's probably why I'm in a good mood.
Is it good? Is it everything you would expect it to be?
It is beyond what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, really?
It is proper Muppets, and it's a proper half an hour, and that's the bit that, when they've done the films, and the films kind of get a little bit tedious and a little bit sort of drawn out and stuff like that. It's a proper Muppet show, and it does from the very. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it is hilarious. Beaker, the scene with Beaker is just wonderful, but the opening bit, which I know has already been on as a trailer as well, with Rolf playing piano, and then they cut to Kermit, and then they ask each other, "Have you just been playing that all this time?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" It's beautiful. There's so many nods back to the Muppet Show of old, and just some of the films. It's just been done so well,
Oh,
and
that's so good to hear.
it is. And I know we chatted about it a little bit last week when you were talking about Rock and Roller Coaster and how they would retheme that. If you watch it, there's the song to finish at the finale, and this is true Muppet magic. Is the fact that I actually feel they've got one song already in the bag for Rock and Roller Coaster. I'm saying no more, but I actually think when we did the show, I think it was one of your selections.
Was it?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to watch it.
I know. It was brilliant. It really was. I just feel that the Sabrina Carpenter guest performance was absolutely on point. She was amazing.
Classic Muppet Show where there was chat and banter? And,
yes. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Because I mean, that was the cool thing about the Muppet Show, the original Muppet shows. There was always a guest, and they just played along, and it was.
I've got to say, Sabrina Carpenter. I've got to say, I take me hat off to because what she managed to do, and the song selection that they had for her, and even singing of Islands in the Stream is just wonderful, and it actually is a real nod back to the. I actually felt was a little bit of Muppet Vision 3D in the studios. It just encapsulated everything. I can't speak so highly enough of something that I've only just finished watching for the first time, and yet I was really fearful that they'd make a mess of it.
Yeah. The only thing I've seen that I wasn't sure about is Kermit's voice.
It's the set. Yeah, the voice. Yeah, you have to get beyond that, and I think that for me, I will never. It will always be Jim Henson, and because it can't be Jim Henson, I need to get that in. That's a me thing. It's not a Muppet thing. We just have to accept it, and actually, when you see the humour and you see just the warmth and I don't know. I'm like I say, I'm only 20 minutes after watching it, and I was just like. I just felt it was just beautiful. It really was. I was prepared to come on here and say, it's.
Go and watch it. Just not yet. Wait till after the show.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
I can see Wendy and Heather both saying they're going to go and watch it afterwards. So you obviously your recommendation.
Don't go just now. Yeah, don't go just now.
Did they do? It's the Muppet Show.
Totally. They got everything. It was everything. It was absolutely everything. And there was just a little bit of nostalgia. There was a little bit that we don't know if this is going to happen again, and it was just that whole bit where they were just like asking questions throughout as we might not be back in doing this, but hey. And then Kermit did the thing. It was just like, trust me, and it goes into the finale and things. Absolutely brilliant.
I will watch this. I will watch it
is absolutely stunning. And actually, if it is on Disney Plus. So
Sean's never watched the Muppet Show.
Oh, Sean, man.
You need to go back and watch this one and then go back.
Don't watch the films. Go and watch the originals, mate. Because actually, the films don't do them justice. You do get into the Muppets if you. Yeah, there's some real classic ones, and they're actually on YouTube, but you don't even have to go and find them and stuff
Sean,
like that.
Did you ever go to Muppet Vision 3D in studios, or did you just avoid that as well because you didn't get it? Faith saying she grew up watching the Muppets, looking forward to watching the reboot. Yeah, exactly. I think Saturday evening, wasn't it? The Muppet Show was on in the UK, and
it was a Sunday.
Sunday evening?
I think it was a Sunday. It was that
like
bit.
6 o'clock or something.
Yeah, it was that bit where your parents kicked you into that bit where you're going back to school tomorrow.
I just remember the opening sequence with the arches and the.
It's still there, Claire. It's still there, and the Gonzo bit is hilarious as well. It just nailed it. It really did, and I don't know. It's just beautiful bit of beautifully done.
Muppet Vision was not my favourite attraction, but I love the Muppets.
Yeah. I
I
think
actually like the
as well.
waiting area better than the actual attraction.
Oh dear
And
me.
I did sleep in Muppet Vision a few times. But
Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Heather's saying they should just
Oh,
hire Tim Tracker to voice Kermit. Yes, I think you're probably right. He does sound like Kermit.
unintentionally.
Unintentionally, yeah, right, exactly. Saying nothing else. Heather.
Oh, there you go. That's
Well-
great. Do you know something? I actually don't think we've ever done that in all the years we've been doing this. I don't think we've ever dissed Tim Tracker's voice.
I don't think that's anything bad to say, and it's not.
No, I
anything
don't. But I think it's spot on now. I actually think it's
yeah.
exactly on point.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh dear.
You know, he's
Okay.
a very popular YouTuber.
Let's move us on because before we get to the big news of the week,
Oh, is there more?
there is, because they shut Dinosaur. And I know that we've been given 2 years basically to prepare ourselves for this. Because I know when Josh and Morg were out there, I think we're probably safe to say this, that they actually had insider knowledge at that time that it was going to be shutting, and they knew. So in 2024, that was when we felt that was going to be the last time. And I was very fortunate last year to be able to go and ride Dinosaur again. But it shut the weekend, and do you know what? The biggest thing for me that was the most lovely part of it, it actually got a proper send off.
Oh, I thought it was amazing when you saw the final door closing of the Dino Institute.
Yeah.
And they made a ceremony out of it, and I thought it was brilliant, actually. And I know what you mean, John. I think I've ridden Dinosaur for the last time probably 6 or 7 times because there wasn't a closing date. So every time I'd be like, I've got to go and ride it. I've got to ride it. And sometimes I've done it more than once. But you're right. I think that they didn't shy away from making a big thing about it. You know, the guy...
Yeah.
You know, the cast member who'd been in the original film was there. He rode it at the end, and I just think, you know, I wish there was some nostalgia merchandise for the. You know, I've gone down a rabbit hole in the last week or so around thinking about merchandise for you know, rides that are no longer with us, and actually, I think there's a massive spot in Disney merchandise.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, extinct attractions, and now Dinosaur's one of those. You know, actually, I think it was lumpy, bumpy, neck cracking, cheesy. We're not going to make it, but everybody loved it, and I am sad to see it go. And I know the track's not going. I know it's coming back as Indiana Jones, but I will be sad.
It was that last bit, and actually. I think is it Karen Addy or AD? I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
She was there.
But she put something on, and actually, Karen, I completely agree. And she put a bit about it. It is that whole bit at the end.
Yeah.
You made it. Yeah. I knew you would. Now, but
there should be T-shirts everywhere with that.
Yeah. But if you come from a family and you've got young kids, and that became a thing for us as a family. Yeah. And it was just that whole thing of like when the kids were doing stuff for the first time and things like, go on, you can make it. You made it. I knew you would. And it was just like, and it's such a bizarre thing that you get one line from one ride that you just like, that you, and it becomes encapsulated in your family life.
Yeah,
and
becomes part of your normal language.
Yeah,
But you know, it's a positive thing, and I am sad to see it go. I'm excited to see what's coming. I'm interested to see how Indiana Jones links in with the America's area. Yeah. I'm sure that it's been thought through very carefully. And that
maybe
the story will be looped together, and you know, this is what happens every time something closes. Everyone goes, "Oh, I'm not sure how this is going to work," and then it comes and it's brilliant. So,
actually, let's roll the clock back 3 years to the time where or even 6 or 7, 8 years. And actually, to be really honest, Dinosaur was one of the best walk-on rides that you could actually get to.
It was
So-
in December. It was a literal walk-on in December. Even
Yeah,
though we had a closing
so-
date, and
Yeah,
fun to ride.
Yeah.
And I'm just jealous that Morgan got to do the backstage tour of that as a cast member, and they managed to walk around all the sets. Although I did see, like, the last day, I think there was a group of people ended up getting walked off it. It broke at the
Yes.
last day. And
that was quite cool. I quite like that. I think there's something
Right.
quite nice about that.
But
The other
Morgan
one as well.
had a great
It's
option.
just to mention the fact that Joe Roddy came out and actually shared his own views on not just the closure, but actually what comes next. And
Yeah.
again, in true Joe Roddy style, it becomes like, yeah, okay, we've done that. It's time to move. It's time to move on.
It's
And
almost like
actually,
a refocusing, isn't it? A bit like,
Yeah.
you know, when you're riding, go with me here. You know, when you're riding Guardians of the Galaxy, you're riding, you know, Cosmic Rewind, and you think that the vehicle you're in is randomly spinning, but it's not. It is completely turning and facing you to what they want you to see. I
yeah,
kind of get that feeling now, you know, the door's shut on Dinosaur and now it's like a pivot and they're going, right, this is what we're aiming for now, this is what we're looking at. And it's not that we're ignoring that thing that's just closed over there that's been there for a long time. It's the fact that we can now attend, you know, all of our focus on something new and exciting. And that's kind of where my brain takes it. So Dinosaur, we will miss you. I will miss the plastic dinosaur puppet. But
yeah.
I have so many photos of that particular and videos of the pre-show because I loved it so much. I was like that better than the ride. You know, the actress who played Claire Huxtable in the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
Every time I was taken back to my childhood. So yeah.
It is, and actually, I don't know. It felt reverential last weekend, and actually,
Yeah, it's good.
I've
It's
complained before of places and rides and fireworks shows and parades that they've closed kind of instantly without that ability to say goodbye. And actually, I really hope they learn from this because actually,
Yeah.
there's, it was done properly.
But bring the merch on for the extinct attractions.
Yeah, I
I've
actually think that's a great idea.
in my mind of what
I
should
wonder,
be.
Claire, if we do something on this week after week after week, and then we claim we'll only take
just
10%.
If
10%.
only we knew someone who had a Disney clothing company. If only we knew someone who made T-shirts and merchandise
Yeah,
that we could test this on.
yeah. That would
Not
be
looking at
something,
anyone,
wouldn't
Robin.
it? Yeah, Robin. Yeah.
I'll talk to you later about it, and you can
Yeah.
you can have it. You can have it on me for free. But yeah, I think we're not going to make it. I knew we made it. I knew you would on the back. That would be a cracking T-shirt. And
Yeah.
I can't believe they haven't sold that previously.
No,
I would
no.
have bought one.
Yeah, so would I, because I'm a mug. I'm an absolute mug for a Disney T-shirt. Goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah. Can I just one quick last one, because actually I've plugged this for a number of months, and it's on YouTube. We call it Imagineering, and it's on the Disney YouTube channel. But they've now decided, for some bizarre reason, I wonder how, but we'll get onto that moment very shortly. It's now on Disney Plus, which I think is a really good thing. So if you've not caught up with that on YouTube, go and have a look at. We call it Imagineering. I just think it is as close to the Imagineering story in its detail and what the story it's trying to tell. I just think it's absolutely superb. It really
I have
is.
missed this moment, Heather, and I need to go back and watch some videos of this because I think I might have shed a tear to say goodbye to Dino Land, Donald, Daisy, and the Chipmunks.
Oh yeah.
Because Chip and Dale in their dinosaur costumes were epic, and they were so much fun. And I guess I hadn't really realised that they were going too. So yeah, there's Restaurantosaurus closed as well.
I hope so.
Small blessings. And the very quiet toilets in the corner, which were excellent.
And
too.
now
But,
coming soon to a Great British Mickey Waffle either Wednesday or podcast.
yes,
I definitely think
there is
toilets
a
a
restroom
resurrection of the
show.
toilet. Yeah, definitely.
coming
Going back to Heather's point as well, and I think Josh mentioned it last week about Donald, but he missed out the whole of that bit because he worked that area quite a bit. But the actual characters, that he actually grew more fond of the characters in that area than he'd ever done all his life before, and it was just such a wonderful part of his college program where they knew what he was going through. He understood what they were doing, and it was just like, yeah, we'll see you in a bit, and this, that, there.
Which one
Really
of us
nice.
is hotter at this moment in time?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. It's 9:02.
Hey, there we go. Look at that. We're on to
Gonna
the
do it.
biggest news of the week.
And actually, it's quite good that we're on a Wednesday because this happened on Monday.
Yeah.
Was it yesterday or Monday? Yesterday it was announced.
I don't know,
It
Claire.
happened on
Every day seems the same at the moment.
So
It's
it was
February.
unanimously voted voted for on Monday evening at the shareholders' call. It was announced formally yesterday that the thing that we all expected to happen is happening, but I'm all for it, and that
They're going to build a Josh DeMaro land. It's going to rename DeMaro Land. That'll be it.
I thought you were going to say the villain's land is going to have Bob Chapek attraction in it. No, so Bob.
To be honest, the one thing that came out of every press release yesterday, there was no mention of paycheck in anything whatsoever. It was like the previous Iger era,
Yeah.
with a little bit that nobody mentioned, to the current Iger era, plus the fact that if you watch some of the earnings call from last week, let's not forget how much Bob Iger's been paid for this, because it's staggering amounts of dollars. It really is, and he doesn't get it all in cash. He gets it all in shares. Well, gets some of it in shares and stuff.
Good on him.
Staggering
He's
amount
worked
of
hard
money.
for it.
He has, yeah.
I have no issue with people being paid a lot of money if they work hard and they do the right thing. Leave it there.
I wouldn't have an
I think-
issue. I wouldn't have an issue if it was me.
I think that. Do you know what? I think that Josh Tomorrow, being the successor as the CEO of the Disney company,
Yeah.
after Bob Iger retires, it's coming a little quicker than most people expected. So by the end, 28th of March, I think, is the date of the handover. So
Yeah.
I think people had expected it to be May, but it's coming a bit earlier. I'm assuming there'll be like a nice handover period, so it's not just going to be like Bob's like, I'm off.
There you go. See you later. You're on your own.
But there was some really amazing messaging. I saw a fantastic message from Michael Eisner, actually,
Yes.
online.
Yeah.
Who, previous CEO, during
Yeah.
that turbulent period of time, and he was all for it. He sent some really, really lovely messages, and included a Walt Disney quote in his message. And I just think that the surprising thing for me is I haven't seen any. I'm sure there are people, but I haven't seen anyone online going, "This is the wrong choice. How did you miss X, Y, and Z? How could you overlook this person? How could you have thought that Josh is the right person?" And everyone I've seen has been positively applauding the fact that he is the obvious successor, and the cast members are happy about it because he understands the picture from a parks perspective. He's had so many positive interactions with park staff. So as someone who goes to the parks, certainly the chatter.
I think that was the key
cast
thing.
member conversations.
Yeah,
And I know
that was the
it's
key
not-
thing for me, Claire. And actually, I was trying to find it on my
happy.
phone there. Katie Wetzel, friend of the show, but her.
You don't need to put it in inverted commas. She is a
She-
friend of the show. She's an honorary waffler.
She is not okay. I just play it.
Friend of the
I play
show.
it.
She is
I play
one
a
of
bit
us.
cool. I play it a bit cool, like
No, not at all.
who I have messaged to say if you don't follow Katie Wetzel on her Instagram,
Do.
she
follower.
is trying to create gluten-free homemade bread,
I have been following
and
her
it is the
drama.
most incredible thing, and she'll
It's
share it
hysterical.
live. And I think one night last week, I stayed up late and I messenger, and I'm just like, "What's it like?" And she's like, "It's an effing disaster."
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's beautiful because it is playing it out live. Her response to Josh D'Amaro was
Yes.
beautiful. It's no longer on a reel because it's disappeared.
Yeah, it was a story.
She was so. I think this is the bit, and this is the bit where cast members must see that. I don't want to get ahead of myself because actually, if cast members feel like this, then as guests, we should feel equally the same in the fact that the good days are coming back, and
I would-
and
yeah,
and
I think-
they feel that Josh understands exactly what their job entails, and that the magic has been eroded for whatever reason and for whatever profit that the company has wants to make for shareholders, etc. I think the right person now, and
At
because
this
of his
moment in time, he's the right guy
Yeah.
for the job. I don't
Yeah.
know how long he'll be in the job. That's the thing for me. It's like, is he been
Really?
for 3 years? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he will be in the job as long as other people have. I just get this feeling that he's there. He's going to make some big changes, positive things,
yeah.
and then someone else will be in the wings. I don't know. I don't know why I get that. It's like
Yeah.
a little gut feeling I have.
Yeah, I wouldn't. My concern is I actually think because Josh has very much been park based. I hope he's not overawed by the whole umbrella part of the company.
I'm sure he's been.
I hope his heart remains with sorting out the parks, and there's a lot of work to be done.
I've heard from other cast members, parks based and corporate cast members as well, friends with Morgan and other people that I'm connected with.
Yeah.
And just like Katie, they've all gone, this is great.
Yeah.
They've all gone, thank goodness it's him, not someone
Yeah.
else. Because it could have been someone that people hadn't really connected with. I think that's been the message that I've heard from other podcasters and content creators who all say, they've been lucky enough to meet Josh D'Amaro. We have not yet.
Yeah.
Yet. And they all say, he's a nice guy, he's personable, he'll chat, he's listening to what guests want, he's listening to cast members, he wants to do the good stuff and bring that Disney feeling back to everything. So I think that, Bob Iger has picked up the pace from where we were a few years ago. We've had some
Absolutely.
erosion and sort of rescued some of the stuff. There's so many exciting things coming to the parks, but also coming to the movies and Marvel and Pixar and all of the stuff that goes alongside, the ships. Let's look at the cruise line. Let's look at the resorts. There's tons of things coming. And I think that Josh has had quite a good sort of finger in lots of pies, to be honest with you. And I think that's the feeling that the cast members are getting. So
Yeah.
the fact that they're happy, like you say, John, the fact that they're happy and they see this as an optimistic appointment and that they're excited to move forward with him tells me an awful lot about how I should feel about it as well, I think.
Yeah, and equally, it was funny because actually within minutes of his appointment, the whole sort of blaze of social media sort of blows up and things like that, and
it pinged
and
up.
actually-
I saw it on my phone and I dropped
Yeah.
it into our group chat and I was like, it's fine, it's been officially
Yeah.
announced. And it's
Yeah.
like suddenly the world exploded with it.
but it's someone who understands all the things that people complain about in the here and now. Because he's seen it, because he's been on the ground to actually see it in action. He understands the whole thing about Lightning Lane is a Lightning Lane just there for the shareholders and for profit, or do we go back a little bit and reel it back, and let's have magical express from the airport to the, there's a bit
That's
of
an interesting question, John.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pose it to you, and I think you were gonna pose it to me, so I'm gonna throw it back at you.
You're getting your retaliation in 1st. That's what I like.
Get a word in edgeways, so I'll get it back there. And the same question to all our friends in the chat. And if you're listening on the catch up, drop us a message with your thoughts. What are the top? I'm going to say 2 things you would like to see Josh D'Amaro do. Let's go with parks and resorts and cruise line, because that's his bread and butter for the last few years.
Yeah.
What are the things that you would like him to change? I'm not sure that legacy fast passes are ever coming back, John, I'm afraid, or Spectra Magic.
No, I would still go back to the fact that you should have the ability to book a free fast pass. That for me was just when they gave up on the fact that every person was equal. It was basically, if you got more money, you can go and do whatever you want. Yeah. And I thought that was really quite unfair. I still would like to see some form of fast pass in a free entity within the parks. That'd be my first one. And then I guess my second one, I'm going to go a little bit bigger than I was originally. I would just like there to be a budget for every day upkeep of rides in the park, because actually that's a bit I think that grates probably more than anything else, is the fact that sort of just that little bit of extra magic has gone, and they've waited until something's completely either doesn't work or completely just doesn't look right, and then they'll change it. Whereas previously it was a case of there's just like a little touch of paint on that, and we fix it, or we'll clean it, or we'll make sure it's right. And that's been, and that's been, it's not just at Disney. It's I go places around close to me, and it winds me up at the fact that someone can't clean the door at the gym. It's just like you go to the gym, and it's just like, can somebody just not wipe that? People don't see it, and actually we want that whole Disney magic, putting back in, and I think that's
quality
where
and standards is what we're talking about.
Okay. What about you?
So I think my first one, not necessarily number one, but first one, I would like to see some, I was going to say, love and respect, but also some support for pass holders, and I mean pass holders worldwide. Not just Walt Disney World, but pass holders at Disneyland Paris. The benefits of being a pass holder over and above the fact that it's slightly cheaper if you're going more than once or twice a year, which is, let's face it, that's why I have a pass, because I go more than once a year and it ends up being cheaper. But all of the benefits, like, I like a magnet, but I don't need to. That isn't a benefit to me, to be able to go and queue up for 20 minutes to get a plastic covered magnet. I've got a bunch of them now. They sit in a box in my spare room. I would like to see some, not necessarily return to pass holder benefits, but a thought about what could be delivered as pass holder benefits. There should be some loyalty benefit to being in that club, in that club, whether that be Tables in Wonderland, whatever that looks like, in terms of things that have previously been there could be reimagined, changed, adapted, made more modern. I'm not asking for them to bring back all of the stuff that was there before, but I just feel that even in the few years that I've been a pass holder, the things that I get are reducing year on year, and yet the price is increasing. And so I feel like there should be something more.
Can I ask as well, because on top of that, if you want to visit a park,
I still have to book a pass.
you still
I still
have-
have to book
that's
a
the bit-
reservation.
that's the bit that I actually feel that is the bit. If you,
It really annoys me.
yeah, that's a bit for me that really negates much of the benefit of being an actual pass holder.
If
And
you're
I
staying
feel
on
that
site, it doesn't matter too much because you get you can book park reservations for length of stay if you're staying in a
Yeah.
Disney hotel.
yeah,
But for example, in the summer where we're there for 2.5 weeks and I'm a pass holder, I can only book 5. I'm an Incredipass holder. I've got the top level pass. I've got access 365 days a year, as long as I book a reservation or go in the parks after 2:00. And that is fine, but it is a bit irritating when nobody else has to do that. And you
Yeah.
do get blocked out sometimes. And yes, there are good to go days where you don't have to book a park reservation. But the very fact that I need to go onto the app and say, I plan to come to Magic Kingdom tomorrow, or I'm going to come
Yep.
to Epcot on Wednesday, it's just really irritating, quite frankly.
yes,
So if you could get rid of that, that would be amazing. But I feel like the pass holders, unless you are financially benefiting from it, there doesn't feel like any bonus for being
there's no love. There's no love. There's no love though, is there? And I think that is, you know, that for me is the bit that's disappeared. And I actually.
And that's not just a Walt Disney World thing. That happens
No,
in Disneyland
it's a
Paris as well. You
yeah.
know, the Disneyland Paris pass holders,
Yeah.
everything has been eroded from that as well. And I get it. You can upcharge for everything, but actually, the
Yeah.
very fact that someone is buying a pass means you have already upcharged them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my number.
That's a great one. I'm totally with you on that. And actually, yeah, I'll put it. It's the first on the complaints list for
Dear
Josh.
we have to change our letterhead starter. Dear Josh.
Yeah. Well, it's been Dear Bob for so many years,
Right.
so yeah.
Yeah, we've been able to reuse the same paper for a while. So
Except for the time when we just did
Yeah.
without the Bob bit, it just became Dear Mr.
Yeah.
Dear Mr.
Yeah.
Paycheck, because we lost the plot with that one.
Wendy has said she'd like to see the parks put a focus on original rides and attractions. Absolutely agree with you, Wendy.
Yeah.
We don't have to squeeze everything round an IP. And I think
Yeah.
that some of the most loved attractions, Dinosaur is a brilliant example of that. Although there was that awful dinosaur movie and dinosaur TV show, but they weren't related to the attraction.
Yeah.
I just think it feels now that the only thing that's actually being created has to be related to IP. And
Yeah.
I understand why, but I don't like it.
But it's the type of thing that it ages really quickly, though, Claire.
Exactly. If
And
you
that's
do
the
something
bit that get
original
yeah
and unique,
yeah
let's look at like Journey into Imagination. Yes,
Yeah.
it's dated. Yes, it's clunky. It breaks all the time, and but it hasn't aged in terms of theming, because actually having an imagination and being able to be creative and think
Yeah.
laterally and creatively and all that diversity that it talks about is still absolutely relevant today, even though
But,
the attraction is like on its last legs.
yeah.
So
but even
the theme is
think
still
of
relevant.
think of Pirates, and
Yeah.
this is the bit. It's like the whole of that film franchise came from the ride, and
all
like
that money they made.
the kids don't quite understand it. They go in and go, oh, I've seen this film, blah, blah, blah. But actually it started with the ride, and
Yeah.
and that's where Imagineering should be at, is like creating new things that is just like
So
it's
give the
different.
Imagineers permission
Yeah.
to be unique. That would be a great thing to just give permission.
Oh, could you imagine? You go to the meeting, right? You got the meeting, and if anyone hasn't seen this, I'll share it on the Waffler's Arms. There's a wonderful Scottish TV programme about a police constable who insults the entire world in the fact that when he's issuing an apology to the Chinese community and said, oh, it drives me mad, but then he has to it's better explained by Chief Constable Meakin. But could you imagine the meeting where they're sitting around and say, We can't have that in the ride. That could you imagine? Because that's going to insult X, Y, and Z. No, go back to the drawing board. They come back again. No. That might be offensive to this, that, and the other person. Come back again, and suddenly we end up with a whole lot of Tiana-based rides.
Yeah, I know. Do you know? I think that Wendy's hit the nail on the head though, because actually, there is stuff that doesn't need to be IP based. You know, we don't need to have every attraction based on a film or a TV show. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy them, and actually, I think that some of the spin-offs from some of those attractions are amazing. Yeah, I actually quite like the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie. Just saying, but I wouldn't have wanted it to be created the other way round. Like Big Thunder Mountain, those classic attractions that don't have an IP attached to them are the ones that people flock to.
Yeah.
You know, and you can create things from them. Sometimes you need the original thing to be the starting point, to be the catalyst for everything else to come from. The Jungle Cruise, great example.
Too right.
Amazing
Too
attraction.
Right.
Fantastic
Superb
movie.
film. Yeah.
Fantastic movie, but actually, had the attraction not come first, it wouldn't have landed in the same way. And I think Wendy, you're right. I think having Imagineers have license to be creative outside the parameters of IP, outside those building blocks of what already exists. That's why they're Imagineers. You know, I have a conversation with my daughter all the time. She's like, I want to be an Imagineer. Great. You can be an Imagineer. You can go and do this stuff. And then she's like, but I don't want to just do, what already exists. And, that's exactly what being an Imagineer to me is all about.
Yeah, and it should be about
the thing that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. I've got to say though, Clay, you actually think about, and going back to your Eddie Murphy one, if you went on popular film, because believe it or not, it bombed as a film.
It did.
Because it wasn't very good. But on the IP bit, the ride would never be built.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the bit that annoys me, because actually you're talking about amazing rides that were built, and I was thinking even again, if you go back to even the different incarnations of pirates within each of the different parks, or you go back to different haunted mansions, they've all got a different backstory. There's a link of different films that you could actually make that make each park the focus of a series of films.
That would be my other thing. So I've given you one. We've piggybacked on Wendy's for number 2.
Yeah.
My other thing would be that we no longer just lift and shift. So that there is a reason to visit different parks around the world. It's far too easy just to copy an attraction from Paris and move it into like Ratatouille, looking at you. Just to lift and shift something and put it into another park because it's cheap, it's easy, it's conceptually tested. We know that guests are going to want to ride it, especially if it's in another continent, because they may not be able to visit the other one. And that, for me, and I hate saying this, it's just a little lazy. And I don't want lazy. I want to be able to go somewhere and experience something unique. Like if I went to California to ride the Incredicoaster, that for me is like, that would be top of my list. And the Cars attraction, it doesn't exist anywhere else. Those are the things that I want to experience, not, the same. And yes, of course, there are those things that are the same everywhere. They're not going to be top of my list. I want to do the different things.
I think you're spot on with that.
So like Crush's Coaster and stuff. Actually, there's a reason to go to different places if we're talking parks and resorts. Same with hotels. Same with hotel theming. Same with the ships. Each thing should have its own unique selling point that makes you want to repeat visit, makes you want to repeat ride, makes you want to go back another day, buy another ticket, get an annual pass so you can go back and. So for me, that's
I think that's
laziness of repeating
I love that.
things. I'd like to see that stopped.
I love it.
Not Just a small thing, you know. Sorry. Who needs Josh tomorrow? Make me CEO. No,
That's just, yeah.
be bankrupt by Christmas.
But I think we're onto something, and I actually think, and again, you know, this is why we do this on a Wednesday, because actually, what we end up with is just these thoughts that come out,
Like
and you're
intrusive
thinking,
thoughts escaping all over the
yeah,
place here.
but it's brilliant though, and actually, but I actually think, Claire, we're onto something that we actually come back and think of, you know, for future shows as well, as what you could what you could put in that wasn't IP driven, because actually, you know, and really weird, over the weekend, somebody I follow on Twitter had been in the parks, they'd been in Epcot, and they were just despairing at what Morocco has become. And all they were saying is just like, just give the place just a little bit of love, because actually it's a beautiful pavilion, but actually you've just kind of thrown your toys out the pram because Morocco had given up on the financial part of it. Let's just put it at one side. Let's pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But actually, it just needs just only a little bit of investment.
You know, there are so many amazing things, and I'm just going to say, originally tonight we were talking about appetisers around Walt Disney World and our favourite ones. I'm going to say Morocco is the only place you can get the hummus fries in Spice Road Table. So, you know, more of that. That's the only thing that's special about Morocco at the moment.
And that's the wrong thing, isn't it?
Right.
That for me, is, you know,
They've got
that for
so
me is
much
something that
opportunity to do different things, and I think that maybe there's this anxiety that every single thing has to be a win, has to be a massive crowd grabber. It has to, you know, be big, you know, exciting, hugely expensive, and therefore it's got to reap the rewards. And actually, sometimes we just need to go with, like you say, John, go with your heart and do something different.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Interesting.
I'm sure shareholders would disagree, but
They totally would, and I think that's the issue, Claire. And I think actually that for me is the bit we need to go. You know, if you go back, 20 years.
That's what
And
you know, Splash Mountain was.
And
it was a risk.
what made that was probably more than 20 years. That, Claire, and just between you and me.
I know 20 years ago was only 2006, which is like, feels like yesterday.
No, it does. But again, go back 20 years. But you go back to that, was it the year of a million dreams and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Where there was no thought about how much it was going to cost. It was done because of love. It was done because you were going to get people back in that park after all the horrible things that had gone on. It reinvigorated, but it also meant that the company actually cared, and that's the bit that's kind of been lost along the way. You know, a lot of people are drawn into that whole love of Disney.
That's a really interesting point, John, because I think you're right. That year of a million dreams, the Celebrate a Dream True Parade, all of that stuff. Guests felt that they were getting something back. They felt that the Disney company, in the big scheme, you know, the macro level, cared about them as guests. They were getting something back from the fact that they had paid their entrance fee and they had, you know, made the effort to get there and stuff like that. And therefore there was sort of like this mutual exchange of admiration and appreciation. And at the moment, I don't think that that's necessarily how guests feel.
Yeah.
And so going back to guests experiencing something, it doesn't have to be for free, it doesn't have to be discounts, you know, that happens, but actually the general feeling as a guest when you walk into, whether that be a park or, you know, a resort or whatever that looks like, that you are appreciated for the fact that you have spent your money. And let's face it, we're all earning money that isn't going as far these days. You know, everything is costing more. There's all sorts of things going on that are impacting on that at the moment. And the fact that people are still choosing to spend their money to go to a Disney park, a Disney resort, a Disney cruise ship, whatever that looks like,
Yeah.
should be recognised by the company somehow. And I think that there are so many little small things that make a massive difference to guest experience.
Yeah.
If that was the focus for the first 12 months, it would make a massive impact for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Sorry,
I've gone
but
off
no,
on a rant.
I'm totally with you, because actually, when you think about when that actually all began, and again, it will be an accounting sleight of hand.
Of course.
Make it look as if you're getting something for nothing.
We're not stupid.
We are. We keep
Most
going
of us.
back. We
Well,
keep going back.
Most people can do some maths and they know when they're
Yeah.
doing something for nothing and they know when they're not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even if you're being charged more, if the experience you get here, and I'd say it's not a head experience, it's a heart experience.
Yeah.
The feeling that you get when you are in that place, experiencing that with the people that you care about, or maybe
Yeah.
strangers, who knows, is different. It is special. It brings that magic. Then you don't mind spending that money. But if you feel like you are there and it's like, why have I spent this money? Are you going to go back this year? Probably not.
I think you're spot on. I really do. I know Wendy agrees with you in the chat as well. And speaking
I
of
shall
the chat,
write to Josh and let him know.
yeah. To be honest, I think he'd be quite. I'd like, and this is the bit where I actually feel that this is such a good appointment, because actually I feel he's in touch with. He knows that this is the biggest thing that undercuts everything.
Right.
Is the fact that the magic has been sort of diminished by the accountancy side of it, but the prices have gone up,
Yeah.
and we're suddenly left with disgruntled guests who've now got a big place up the road that is offering all kinds on. They've put all the infrastructure in place, and they're now proper competition, and it suddenly is like, oh, hang on a minute.
And that
Where do we go from here as a company? And
that's before. And I know there's been quite a lot in the news and the press this week in Disney News about the impact of reduction of international guests to the US.
oh, absolutely,
We're not even going to get into that situation.
yeah.
We are obviously not part of that. But
No, but it's a thing.
That are going to happen.
It's a thing. You and I were chatting the other day. There's a certain element that actually on either Facebook or on forums where people don't feel safe, and actually when people don't feel safe, you go to France and you go to Spain and you go and have a beach holiday,
and that
because
will
actually
impact on your bottom line, so that you have to work 100 times harder to get people there. And I think.
And the Canadians have already made their decision based on certain political events and things like that. So the Canadians are not going there because actually their president is better. Their president is better than their president.
The thing is, though, the stuff that makes a difference doesn't cost a lot of money.
No.
And this is the frustration for me: is that we're not asking for free stuff.
No.
We're not asking for, reductions in. I know I talked about annual pass holders. That's a slightly different group of people who are visiting, a different guest profile. But for the general guest, if you can improve, quality of interaction, if you can improve attraction sustainability, so actually things don't break every 20 minutes.
Well, a bit like Epic.
Right. So, so that, like you're talking about, John, that low-level maintenance costs.
Yes.
You can build them into the bottom line so that actually things aren't breaking all the time. That it doesn't look like everything needs painting every time you visit. And I know what Disneyland Paris looked like before Disney Company took over the shares from SEC, and it looked tired, it looked grey, it looked boring, and it looked like a UK theme park, and I didn't want to go. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Disney Company bought them out, put a lot of money into the upkeep of the park, and suddenly this place was brilliant and exciting and magical and sparkly again. And I think there almost needs to be, not that Disney World looks tired, but I just feel that there needs to be a bit more focus on what the guest sees, and that walking in the shoes of a guest for the first 10 minutes of their day actually that would tell you an awful lot. And maybe they need, I know they have the guys with their white shirts and their iPads asking you questions every now and again if you fit the profile of the person they want to talk to from the
box
team.
ticking that.
Right. But actually,
It needs to go back to that proper, go back to the whole bit that Walt actually, the expectation of the company is about show and about
safety, show, and
But if you're not doing the show bit correctly, because you can't be bothered, I think it's quite sad, because actually that's the easiest, most winnable part of it.
And a lot of the cast members are absolutely 100% bought into that.
Yeah.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, I'm just going to pick something up in the chat that came up earlier, and actually I think this is a really good point.
I was ranting.
No, but I actually think Kirsty's onto something here, and actually because of what's happening in the world at the moment, I think people are actually looking in the opposite direction.
Totally.
And looking towards Tokyo, because it is different. And actually, what is different about Tokyo and Hong Kong, and I know we've spoken about it with a couple of guests recently, is the fact that if somebody drops a piece of litter, someone will either go and tell them, pick it up, because that's a culture that you're not allowed to do. You know, it's not acceptable, or it'll be cleaned up within seconds. That becomes their part and parcel of how they make their park work. Yeah. And actually, I really feel that, you know, it does become something where our people, you know, I might be wrong, but it pushes people towards that Eastern
definitely
opportunity of going and exploring. Yes, it may be different, but actually, it's still a Disney bit. Yeah.
So I'm going away this weekend with friends, and one of them is someone who is a hard and fast Walt Disney World person. They've been to California, they've been on cruise, lots of cruises. They've been to Walt Disney World more times than me, and they have chosen to go to Japan this year.
Wow.
And the conversation we've been having about their trip to Japan, they're going in May, and it just sounds amazing, the things that they've got planned. She's talking about the early entry and staying at, you know, all the different places they're going to, and I just think actually it isn't as difficult as people think it is. So actually the world then becomes, you know, if you're making a decision that you want to go somewhere else but you still like the Disney thing, then actually there is alternative options. There are different places to go. There are, you know, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Paris. Yeah. You know, there are different options. So I think you're right. I think people are being pushed to, for whatever reason. And I know Neil's just shared that.
I'm going to share this because actually,
and I think that's.
I actually think it's an absolutely cracking
I'm sorry that's
point.
happening to you, Neil.
Yeah. But and what Neil said is people are being targeted online for admitting that they're going to the US on holiday. They've received nasty messages on offer groups when they advertise Disney or a US based holiday. Now that sounds really petty when you read it out as part of the chat that we're talking about. However, and again on a sideline, my son plays for a Bruce Springsteen tribute band, and they've actually covered the recent song that Springsteen released, but on their socials, the amount of abuse that they've underhandedly been given for just covering a Springsteen song and putting it on the socials. There's something bigger on the go here, and it's something that just I think for all of us, we come together. I mean, actually, you realise we're not controlled by bots. We're not controlled by head cases of political leaders. You make your own choices, and I think that's, you know, it is so ridiculous. And actually, I think you're right, Neil. Is that the point that Kirsty's making?
Yeah, Kirsty's idea, you know, streetmosphere in Hollywood studios, and you know, that actually it eats up guests as well. It reduces lines, or it actually allows for more people to be in the park at the time. You know, when you think about the amount of time that people stand and watch live, and I know we talked about live entertainment and investment in live entertainment, that would be my point number 3. That, you know, Josh, if you're listening, live entertainers in the parks, please, let's see some more of them, because actually, you know, bring back the Charlie Show. No, stop beating that drum.
I think that's going to now appear on about. I think it's certainly on each monthly show.
Correct. It will continue to be until.
But I think it's a thing, yeah. And Kirsty, you're right, because actually what it does, it's a cheap win.
Totally.
Because actually it's the things that people get photographs with. Yeah. You get young kids who then become inspired by.
They're the things that people remember.
The people
you don't
who
remember the queue.
No.
To Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You do remember the streetmosphere that's out on the you know, Hollywood Boulevard as you're walking down.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah. It's just like the list could be endless, Claire. So
I know.
Let's
continue it in the Waffler's arms.
Yeah, but also what I would also say is the fact that, you know, we were going to talk a little bit about food. I know you prep for it. I don't think there's any point.
I can keep my. I've got notes. They can.
I'm impressed.
They can be for another day. Nothing.
I've got a note. There you go. Look.
I've got an A4 sheet of paper in purple because that's the kind of person I am.
I would also say that for all the big hurrah that Josh D'Amaro has received, not just from us, but from everybody within the Disney community, he's got a big job on his hands.
He has.
And I don't envy him in that, because I think there's bigger, there's bigger things out there that are basically look at the Disney company if they go the wrong way. Different corporations will go and say, oh, well, we'll have a bit of this and we'll have a bit of that. Yeah. But actually, because he's the man in the here and now, and I actually think he's got a much more hands-on experience than probably Bob Iger has over the past few years. It can only be good. It can only be good for us. Because if you've got happy cast members, you're going to have hopefully happy guests. And
I look forward to Josh's autobiography in a few years' time.
It depends whether or not it depends what it'll be on. He'll just do it as an audio book and put it on Disney Plus probably by that time.
Right. I'm okay with that.
Nobody will be buying books by the time we get to that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Claire,
I can't believe how long we've gone on this, and actually not even.
I can. Right?
Yeah, I can as well, because actually, I could still talk probably another half an hour about what we can do to change the parks, but that's why we do this on a Wednesday night, and we can, we will come back and we will reimagine stuff. We will try and do stuff. Everyone in the chat, thank you for being part of the show, because that's why we do it. It's not just about us; it's about you being part of it. Neil, I'm going to send you a message about the fact that what you've actually just shared there, because actually that worries me. But everyone, from Heather in California, from people across the world, to Kirsty, who ninja watches away down the south of England, who did text me before.
Having you here, everyone. Thank
no,
you so
it's been
much.
superb, and also we did miss because he did join us.
He did.
Morg did join us as well. There you go.
I know.
Just in case he thought I'd missed him out.
No, he knows you haven't.
But Claire, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. It's been fun.
It's been cracking, because actually,
Right, we've covered it now.
And we talk about everything from the heart, and I think that is. But that's why we go. That's why we go to the place we love, because it actually all comes. It is. We should. Yeah, don't we get started? Yeah, we should finish with Tom Waits and Crystal Gale at the very end. One from the heart. You probably haven't watched that film, but I won't hold that against you. But just absolutely amazing. If you're listening on the podcast and you want to make a comment about anything that we talked about, come and join us in the Waffler's Arms. Just or just send us
You
a
can
question
still
on
comment
our socials.
YouTube after the show's gone live. You can, if you're watching
Yeah.
on YouTube on the catch up, you can still send a comment. We read them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, it takes me a while to get back to that, but there you go.
Yeah.
That's a me thing, not a you.
John,
not you thing.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
That's been brilliant.
I have no idea what we're talking about next week, but if you haven't listened to the first of the month show, go back and have a listen. It's I listened to it back yesterday.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information in there. You might want a pen and paper.
Yeah, but
it's
I
really
don't think
useful.
it was as over the top as the January show. I think that
No, not at all.
I think by the time we get to kind of April or May, we won't be in sort of information
I'd forgotten
overload for
about the
people.
I'd forgotten about there was a long conversation about Simon snoring. Just leave that teaser out there for anyone who hasn't listened yet.
Oh dear,
Yeah,
it was good.
it was fun. And tonight's been fun. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, just count again. Appreciate you all being in the chat, and Claire, thank you. And until next week. In fact, before we get to that, how long is your countdown?
I think it's like 10 days.
Oh, there you go.
We go to the airport a week on Sunday.
Okay, not jealous.
So yeah, not
Just
too
saying.
long. Lots going on before then, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cheers, everyone, and we'll see you real soon.
See you soon.
Now my wheels in motion and my wheels